Hi, guys.
I mean, first let's talk about our live show before we get into it, girl.
Live
W-
show. A lot of the front row tickets are going. So I would suggest anyone who wants them buy it over Memorial Day weekend because this show you have to, when you buy a ticket, you have to pick your seat. So I would get on it if you want to be in the first couple rows, the first couple tables.
It's different than City Winery in New
Yeah,
York. This is actually seated, guys. So for everyone who
yeah,
thinks they're going to buy a ticket at a later date, that's fine. But if you're sitting in the last row, it's not our fault. This is like
right.
going to a regular concert. First
Concert
come, you buy
show.
your ticket, you pick your seat. A lot of the front seats are gone.
Yeah,
So
one table. The other tables, there's some seats left, so it's time to
like
do it now.
towards the side, I saw on the seating
Right,
chart.
right, right, right,
I
right. So
love
let's
this
go.
though. I love this better because you can go on and you can see
Yeah,
who's sitting
abs-
where.
absolutely love it too.
And we had a contest. We'll talk about it. We have a winner. We told you to buy the tickets. You get entered into a contest. You're going to win a 10-minute private Zoom with me and Kim. The winner of this contest, everyone who bought a ticket, we printed out your receipt that you sent me. If you bought and you didn't send it to me, I'm sorry. But whoever sent it got in a hat, and we have a winner, Olivia Porter. So,
That's
Miss,
right.
I will be getting in contact with you or DM us, Olivia Porter. Your name was entered. I'm sorry for everyone else. You're entered based on the number of tickets you buy, and we chose you. And now you get a
Right.
10-minute Zoom with me and Kim. And God help us, you can ask us anything you want, and we have to answer it.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe we'll do another one in a couple of weeks. Let's see, let's see if everyone jump all over that this weekend, buy your tickets, and we'll surprise you with another contest.
Well, this is why when I go to shows, now I don't think this is a normal way to live, but I buy tickets for everything. And then sometimes I don't go. But when I see a front row or a second row ticket there,
You
I
want to
swear to
grab it.
you, I get
Grab it.
so nervous and I'm like, I can't deal with this in 6 months and I'm not sitting in the back. So, yep.
No.
And it's, by the way, it's September 24th
Fourth.
and it's a Sunday and Kim and I are coming to Philly. So buy your
Yeah, we're
ticket.
staying overnight. We're staying overnight. All right. So how do we want to start? There's so
Do you
much.
know what I
Tell
want
me.
to start with? Before we get to the show, I mean, you want me to tell you? I want to start because there's 800,000 people have gone crazy over Caroline Manzo.
Mm,
That's where I want to start and just get it out of the way.
yeah. Do you want to know what I think?
I mean, she says that she knows who called the
And she
FBI.
was there. Forget who she knows. She was there. That's the key word. So, Caroline Manzo, you were complicit. You didn't make the call. You were there. You saw the person do it. How do you sit there and let somebody call the FBI and a mother of four? I mean, I don't get it. And Lauren's right there sitting next to her. Yeah, like a cheerleader. No, you should not call ever be a rat or ever call or ever let anyone call in front of you. I would have stopped it immediately. I would have said, whoa, whoa, whoa. You are not doing this. Are you crazy? You don't do this. You don't call the FBI on somebody. I mean, oh my God. That to me, I'm sorry. And I happen to like Caroline and I like the Manzos, but no, you did the fact that she was so flippant about it. And guess what? And I was there. Like you were. And now this man who has four daughters, as Teresa would call it, is living in the Bahamas. He can't see his kids. Like you're proud that you sat there and watched this happen. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm blown away by the fact that she even admitted something like this. It's wrong. It's dead wrong.
Now, first of all, I'm sure I could figure it out, but I don't even know how to call the FBI. Like, if I wanted to call right now, I don't even know how you do that. I'm sure if you call the police and you say, I need to call the FBI, they'll
No,
figure it out.
there's a number for the FBI, and there's a FBI right in West Patterson, which is the next town over to me. That's very simple. But I think what happened with all of them, is this Chacon. Is that how you say the last name? Chacon, the one
Who
that
the
was the
hell's
lawyer,
that?
the
Oh,
lawyer, the one that Kim G brought to the party.
I say Chacone because that's how Madonna spells it,
Okay,
I think.
whatever. So anyway, this person was working for Joe Giudice's partner. And they all knew him, whatever. And they knew, I can't think of her first name. I'm sure all you people will remember. I think that's how this like all got started. And that Joe Gorga knew who they were. She wound up going to Melissa's house. Teresa recognized her, and then Melissa asked her to leave her house. So it was a major setup. Melissa knew she was coming with Kim G, and then they embarrassed Kim G and said, you have to leave, because Teresa flipped out. Like, what are you doing with this woman who's coming after us for Joe Giudice's partner and bringing her to your Christmas party? So yeah, that's what happened. That's how that's the connection. But I don't know who, where Caroline was in the room with. I'm thinking it was Joe Gorga, why? Because why else wouldn't she say who it was, and blah, blah, blah. So complicit is the word for what went down with Caroline and the person that called. That would never happen in front of me, ever. Just so everyone knows, ever.
It would never happen with you. Now, a couple of things are happening here. First of all, one of our listeners slipped into my DMs with a voice memo and said, don't we all, now listen, you guys know I cover every show and I got a lot going on here. So yes, this audience is better than I am, or you sometimes. Saying that didn't we already have a scene where Chris Loretta talked about this and he knew? And I mean, someone said, like, isn't this like old news? Like,
No, it's not old news. It's definitely not. We never knew Caroline knew who it was. We never knew Caroline was there when the call was made. Chris Loretta said that Joe Giudice's partner was going to basically turn Joe Giudice in. So what he did was Chris Loretta went to Joe Giudice and said, listen, dude, pay this guy what you owe him. Get this all off your back. And Joe Giudice said, tell him to go F himself. That's what happened. That's what happened. So
what about now? Everyone says, well, isn't it? Remember, we thought it was like Joe Gorga was involved. Like, we broke that here and Jacqueline broke that. They're like, isn't this the same exact thing? I'm just really confused.
Well,
I'm
what do
really
you mean
confused
the
by
same
this
exact
nonsense.
No, because we weren't there when the call was made. So how could it be exact thing? Caroline is saying she was there. We weren't there. We heard through the grapevine. She was there. So how could that possibly be the exact thing?
So
Caroline said, I was there when the call was made. I know who it was. That's totally different. That's totally different.
I'm just like, I mean, listen, Caroline is not a dumb woman. She was just on this podcast. How do you say this and think that you're then going to go home and like continue with your cook? I mean, this is going to be a huge around the world headline.
1000%.
So why now? I understand.
I don't get it either. I don't get it.
Like, listen, I go on podcasts and do interviews all the time. And sometimes I'm talking and I'm like, oh, well, that came out. So like, certain things I say and I'm like, oh, it's not a bit, this is like, why?
Blockbuster.
So
I don't know why either. And I don't know why she would sit there and let somebody do this.
Who is this person?
And acknowledge it. And then Lauren laughing. I mean, it's nothing to laugh about. It really isn't. The turn of events after that were really tragic. So no.
Well, I mean, this is why like Teresa is not interested in ever really probably having a friendship.
Teresa did not know this until Caroline said it. Teresa will never forgive her now. Never. Nor should she.
She's not forgiving a lot of people. All right. So there you go, everyone. There's the Caroline thing. And it will die down and we'll all move on. I mean, we'll still be talking about it in 30 years, but we're going to move on to other things. Right. Now, let's just, before we get into the pause, everyone's confused in the future and that trailer. You want to talk about this episode that we saw?
You know what? You're going to be very surprised. You ready for this?
You're going to be surprised too.
Okay. Because I knew Teresa for years. Okay.